Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to another day of Kit Conspiracy. This is our final day for the current kit that we are using. Tomorrow we will release a new kit for you to check out. We are using this layout by BlueStarDesign over on Scrapbook.com as our inspiration piece. And we didn't really have to scrap lift it. Really, we were going to just use it as inspiration, but I did pretty closely scrap lift it just because I really liked the design. So that's what I did. So I'm starting out with these 3 photos. I have a photo of my son's little yellow Miata convertible and his big green Jeep convertible, and then the 2 of the cars together for the center photo. And it's really hard to see the Jeep in the center photo because the photo's a little bit on the dark side. You can see it in real life, but on the screen it's really a little bit more difficult to tell. And actually he's standing in between the 2 cars in the middle photo. So he's actually in the cars in the other 2 photos as well. Just wanted to document these 2 cars, my son's taste in cars, and these are the yellow one was his very first car that he ever got. And then he bought this Jeep a couple years back, and he has been enjoying both of these cars. He has done quite a bit of work on both of them to fix them up. And so I'm just documenting his love of these 2 cars. Now these stamp sets that I'm using are really old Kelly Perky stamps. I don't know that they're available or that you can find them, but I'm just using one that says destination, one that says on the go, and then the one that has the stars across the top. The one that has the stars is, I believe, a New Year's Eve stamp set, and these are really planner stamps. They're not specific to scrapbooking, but they're more specific to planners because the stamps are really tiny. And then the other set is a travel one. That's why it says destination and on the go. So I started out pulling the border strips off of the sticker sheet, and then I used my powder tool. That's what you saw me using there, to put some powder on the back of the stickers because I didn't want them to be sticky. I want to be able to kind of ruffle them up a little bit after I stitch them down. And so I dug in my scrap bin there to pull out some extra pieces of paper that I thought would work, just because I didn't have enough border strips or enough of the other pieces of paper to pull in. This is the last layout for this week. And now I did do this layout before I found the package of the wood grains. Otherwise I could have pulled in some of the wood grains, but this layout was already done by the time that I figured out that there was additional paper for this kit. So next week goes much better, although I have not opened the final week's kit, so maybe I'll find paper for next week in the final week too. I don't know what happened to my organization or how that happened, but anyway, we're making it work here. So I am going to ink up all of the edges with Black Soot Distress ink. I am just using the Distress ink, not the oxide. It's what I use the most often, just to darken up the edges. And I am going to darken up all of them as you see here. I'm not going to make you sit through all of it though, because that would be a little bit on the boring side. So we're going to move on. I'm going to ink up the edges of these photo mats. Now I did kind of like a reverse of a Polaroid where the wide part of the white is at the top of the photo. And that allowed me to put those stamps across the top. And I like the way that that looks. I am going to stretch that one piece of paper that I only had a little bit of, but it's going to hide underneath the photos, so you're not going to really know that it's stretched there. And I am going to trim off the ends because I don't want them the full 12 inches. Now I am not really measuring the length. I'm doing somewhere between, taking off somewhere between like 1 inch to 1.25 inches, maybe 3/4 of an inch. So it's not a lot, but it's enough that it kind of makes them a little bit staggered, and it also pulls them in from the edge of the paper. I'm just putting 1 strip of the Nuvo Deluxe adhesive down the middle, And that's going to adhere it on. And if you recall, I used the powder tool to remove the sticky, but I am adding that one line of glue down the middle, and that's because I am going to run a stitch over every single one of these down the middle. Now, the adhesive in the Nuvo Deluxe adhesive will dry and it won't get all over my needle, so that is a big benefit to not having used the ATG or the adhesive that's on the back of the stickers. And it will also allow me to ruffle up the edges because, like I said, I'm going right down the center and it's pretty much following the same path that the needle would take. That little gray piece, I should have cut it a lot lower because now by cutting it in the middle, I need to either keep my photos higher or do something else there to kind of like cover that gap. But I'll figure that out as I go, because now that it's cut, and it really is the only piece of that I have left. I used the majority of it as the hexagons on yesterday's layout. Okay, so you've seen how the layers in the background have come together, and I don't know what happened. I just must have simply forgotten to hit the record button. My camera was up there and I thought it was going the whole time, but it wasn't. But I'm just going to walk you through how I created this, the rest of it. So I cut my photo mats to be about a 1/2 inch taller than what I would normally cut them to have the white reveal. Pretty much any stamp would work. You could use anything that indicates like travel or whatever. Maybe your photos are different. You might use a different stamp set completely and a different theme. So then I went to my bin of earth toned items because I put everything that is brown, tan, or any combination thereof in that particular bin. And I had these gears. These are from another Kaisercraft collection. Probably, actually they're probably from like Factory 42 or something like that. And then I had these ones as well. And so in order to get my photos on here and my gears, I cut strips of foam tape, and then I put some liquid glue on one side, peel the backing off, and I use my tweezers and I slide it in there and pat it down and then kind of hold it for a few seconds till it sticks. And I do that because I don't want everything to kind of sink in, and I don't want it to push all of these layers down that I took the time to curl up. You can see there's also stitching on there. You probably didn't see that because that may have been when I turned off my camera. I don't know. But I did do stitching on every single one of these, and it's just black stitching. And then I pulled the stitching back through the back and secured it with some washi tape. And then I pulled out some other pieces from my bin of earth toned items. I have this piece that says Epic. I'm pretty sure that's from Cocoa Vanilla, one of the Boys Rule or one of those types of collections. This little label is from the Not Just for Boys packaging, and it has like a wood grain around it, so I thought that was perfect. These little letters are from Pink Paisley, and they're called Again and Again. And so I thought those were the best fit for here without going and cutting something smaller, and I like the added dimension that it gives. And then this is just a basic label. It's not even from any collection or anything. It's just from a package of labels that came in multicolors. I don't know where the ruler is from, but I just pulled those in and layered them up on top. The twine is just, my mom has this huge roll of twine, so I've got a bunch of it, and it's a little bit fat for most of my layouts. Usually I want something a little more delicate, but in this case it worked really well. So I just used my tiny attacher to attach it here. The tiny attacher is holding it on the back there. I might put something to cover that up. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. It doesn't really bother me that it's there because there's a lot of tiny attacher spots. There's one here as well. And I'm just using it to hold it in place. And then I just used a little bit of glue to hold this down because I wanted to keep popping up. But I didn't want the tiny attacher to be off of these white pieces of paper. So I just used a little bit of Nuvo Deluxe and I stuck my tweezers to hold it until it dried a bit. And that is it. So my apologies again that you didn't get to see it in process, but there it is. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to go check out what MK has done for today's layout. I really appreciate you taking the time to visit my channel. If you have questions or comments, leave those down below. I will get back to you as quickly as I can. And don't forget to hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video. And if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. And hit the bell so you get notifications. We will be back tomorrow with another video with a new kit for Kit Conspiracy. Bye-bye.